Hello and welcome to the machine. This is Perpetual Geek Machine, show number 94 for the week ending Friday, May 24th, 2013. I'm your host, Kevin Alexander. I'm joined today by Dan Zuccarelli and Adam Dixon, and together we combine to form the Perpetual Geek Machine. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
How are we tonight?
Good.
That's good to hear.
184 of these, and I've never had to pay attention to how I look before.
That's all right.
I have to look interested now the entire show.
You do. You can't just hide the fact that you sit there with your iPad the entire time and play.
Or clearly just open up a few more tabs.
Right, and click on the keyboard. I like this whole broadcasting live, even though we don't get a whole lot of viewers when it's happening live. I like the ability to post it to YouTube later or the same day as the show.
I think I have a bald spot.
Yeah, but I got news for you. I don't mean to sound the alarm or anything, but I've been trying to talk to our brother and Rich into really doing the buzzy thing like I do here.
I like what I got going on.
Yeah, it's all right. Adam's a dick here. With,
sorry.
He's got hair to spare.
Genetics, man.
Yeah. That's like my brother and I look a whole lot alike, even though he's like 12 years older than I am, but he has a lot of hair left, which he always likes to point out to me, which I have bald spots all over the place here. Nice. And but he has a much bigger nose than I do, so it all kind of bounces out in the end.
Doesn't that mean something else too? Oh no,
I have no idea. It might not. Tonight we definitely have what you've been doing. We definitely have 5-hit combo. After that, I'm not sure what's going to happen. So it could be a bullshit session. It could be Ryan and I talking about the Xbox announcement that's happening as of this recording tomorrow. And it might not be anything. So we definitely have what you've been doing. We definitely have 5-hit combo. And tonight's 5-hit combo is the top 5 best outdoor games. We thought with the Memorial Day weekend quickly approaching, as you're listening to this, if you're listening to it when it releases, it is this weekend here in the States. And we traditionally spend time outdoor barbecuing. Not a lot of us geeks like to spend a lot of time outdoors, but I'm one of those guys. I like being outside. So we're Adam and I are going to count down our top 5 favorite games to play outdoors, and we'll see where it goes after that. So let's not delay any further. And Adam, why don't you tell me what you've been doing?
Well, the main thing I've done over the past week is I went to see Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yes.
The latest J.J. Abrams offering that follows up his 2009 smash hit, one might say, as far as Star Trek movies are concerned, because they never, all the previous ones never did too well at the box office. But
right, so this is the second prequel to Star Wars 7, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Stardate.
If you
something.
Well, it is a Star Warsification of Star Trek, yeah. But I personally liked the way that J.J. Abrams took it. A lot of people, a lot of purists, didn't like that it's so much action-oriented now, less story-driven. But I think the market kind of spoke for itself, that people weren't as interested in those stories.
Right.
So this one picks up right where the other one left off in terms of action, adventure, witty banter between crewmates, and it was just a joyride. I hate using those buzzwords for movies, but it was a lot of fun. Of course, there's going to be people that are going to have problems with it. I'm understanding that I'm not going to get all spoilery here, so because of that, I got to kind of be top level with the description of it. But I'm going to be spoilery about the first movie, the one back in 2009.
I've seen that, so go ahead.
I believe that's okay.
Yeah. If you can get past the MacGuffin of the red matter that was used in that movie, there's something equally MacGuffin-y in this one, I feel. But if you can get past that, then you'll be perfectly fine with it, I believe.
Okay. I do like your correct usage of the term MacGuffin.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's a hard thing to explain, but an easy thing to understand once you know what it is.
Yeah,
so,
I really got pegged on what a MacGuffin is when Penguins of Madagascar had an episode where they were looking for a MacGuffian.
Nice.
So, that's how I brought it all in.
You learn things.
Yeah. But no, I really liked it. Benedict Cumberbatch, though, he didn't quite exactly do it for me. I know tons of people out there absolutely love him in Sherlock. I've never seen anything with him in it. But he just looked kind of like almost albino-y bad guy in this one. He's so British and so English that his just pasty skin and they
maybe that's what they were going for.
Yeah,
well, that could be because usually albinos are dreadfully scary, especially when they're in a movie with John.
That's just racist, Adam.
Yeah. Well, all right. Yes, fine. I'm racist.
I mean, they have souls. We're not talking about redheads here.
Yeah,
that's true. But yeah, he never really seemed too evil for me. I don't know why. Everyone was like, "Oh, just listen to him deliver his lines and all," and I'm like, "Well, I have a decent voice, and I couldn't get by acting just with that." But he wasn't terrible. It definitely wasn't terrible. It was a good movie. He was a good villain, but there's tons of people out there that are just like, Benedict.
I think people are enamored with his name, and that carries a lot.
Yeah.
People's effect. I mean, I'm not knocking him. I like him. I like him as well. But I think the name is just so like delicious to say that people just like, yeah, he's the greatest because he's got this really cool name. He's a good actor, but I think
it makes
his
him
name
even
is
more British. Like,
yeah,
you could not possibly have a more British name than Benedict Cumberbatch.
No,
yeah.
I think that's what does it. Is like he's just so British.
Like I think that he walks around. He just has a tea set in his pocket that he could pull out at any time.
Yeah.
In case it's tea time.
Like some D&D characters I know.
Yeah, long dead D&D characters.
So, am I to understand you correctly that you paid for the entire seat, but you only needed the edge of it?
Well, since I went to the awesome AMC Marlton theater nearby us that has the recliners, I did in fact use the entire seat because I need to put the legs up and all.
I paid for the recliner, but I had to sit straight up.
There you go. But no, honestly, it
really
was
world of taglines when you start getting into luxury theaters.
The beer was nice and cold. Wait, what?
It's a different theater.
But yeah, if you like the 2009 movie, it was great. In a few months, maybe after everyone else has seen it, I'd like to do a spoiler-centered podcast on this movie because there's a lot of people picking away parts of it that I don't think deserved it, but we can't get into it right now.
Who wrote the first one?
I believe
it was Lindelof.
Oh, okay, because he wrote this one too.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a fun article. I included it in the notes for show notes that Damon Lindelof and a MTV Geek movie writer went back and forth, and he was asking them some spoiler-centered questions. So if you have seen Into Darkness, go there, read that. Damon Lindelof, he's a funny guy. Follow him on Twitter. He's a funny guy, and he can even get past all the lost abuse that he takes.
People seem to, I don't know, like I've been hearing both really good and really bad things about Star Trek. Well, nobody seems to think it was okay.
You probably heard the really bad things from the purists that are out there that don't like the way that they're twisting around the Star Trek universe. I'm not saying it's like the perfect movie, and it's definitely not going to win any awards, but it's well worth your money to go out. It's a high-end action sci-fi adventure movie, and there are also enough Easter eggs in it so that if you are a Star Trek fan and you still like what they're doing, you'll hear certain things. Like, it's not pinnacle to the plot at all, but there's just a reference to Mudd's women thrown in. Just like dropped in the background. And one of the reviews I read that was talking about how this movie was atrocious, they said that there were too many Easter eggs put in, so it made it difficult to follow the movie. If you're derailed watching a movie by Easter eggs, then you just need to go in a dark room and just sit there for the rest of your life. Because it's not like you had to pay attention to the Easter eggs to understand anything. It was just there, little drop-ins extra. So the people that love Star Trek, love the old Star Trek, need to calm down and either stop complaining and stop seeing the movies, or get a Kickstarter going to get the old school Star Trek.
I mean, the cool thing about entertainment is that you don't have to take part in it.
Right, exactly.
Wait, yes, you do.
You have to shit on it.
You have to see this movie and then complain about it if you don't like it.
You have to read 3,000 pages worth of books just so you can complain about it later.
Yeah, well, that's different.
That's self-flagellation.
Yeah, it's exactly it. That's just I want to be informed when I
shit about something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice.
I mean, I'd like an old style Star Trek as much as the next person. I like the 2009 movie, but I like the story-driven Next Generation stuff. I could give two fucks about Kirk. I never watched the original series, so that's probably why I'm a little more freewheeling going into it, is I have zero baggage along. But I mean, it's an action-oriented version of that world, certainly. But I mean, I don't know. I thought it was fun. It's just I was surprised at the polar reactions I've seen for the new one, and a lot of that MTV article seemed to be like Lindelof apologizing for certain things or defending himself for certain things.
Did you read that same one?
Yeah, which he seems to be having to do a lot lately with the stuff that he writes.
Yeah, he sure does. And
he did it for Lost, he did it for Prometheus, and now he's doing it for Into Darkness. So.
Yeah,
Damon Lindelof, if you're listening, you don't have to apologize at all for Prometheus. It's perfect the way it is.
And you're listening, thank God, because that's awesome.
Yeah. And as I said, that we lost a viewer.
I'm kind of hoping he does not end up writing the Star Wars movies. I don't know if they've attached a writer to that or not. Either way, I kind of hope it's not him.
I feel like they did, but I can't name it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, those movies are moving along much quicker in production than we all think they are. I mean, they're, it's coming out like in a couple of years. Yeah, I mean, it's
and then every year after that.
Yeah, so they're probably in real full gear of production.
If they do it right and write enough good stories, that'll be great that they come out every year.
Yeah, it'd be great if every May or June I can go see a new Star Wars movie and they're all good. I would be totally down for that.
All right, should we? Let's keep the movie train going, and I'm going to talk about The Great Gatsby. I mentioned last week in the post 5-hit combo bullshit session that I had just read it for the first time, kind of in preparation for the movie coming out, and I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. So the movie itself was okay. There was nothing phenomenal about it, and there was nothing that made it overall super terrible at all. I really loved the book. I thought the book was really fantastic, and it seems kind of cliche to say that, but it's a really, really wonderful book. Baz Luhrmann does create a successful translation of that book. He gets the story correct. Now there's some caveats about like how they make an excuse for adding a voiceover narration the whole time, or throwing up text as the character is typing his story out like on the screen, that really bugged the shit out of me. And the whole first half of the movie, let's say the first till about midway through the second act, like it's super frenetic and energetic and over the top, and it's got like straight up Jay-Z songs throughout it. I mean, he produced a soundtrack. They have like, cooler than that, they have like old timey interpretations, like early jazz era like interpretations of like Crazy in Love, which works perfectly. That sort of stuff was kind of cool. So I did like the modern music thing didn't bother me completely. It has bothered me in the past, and like that I fucking hate that movie A Knight's Tale, the one with Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
And they tried doing it in there. I thought it was a complete failure, and it was just I just hated that. And I think that was the main reason I hated that movie.
Yeah, it made it cheesy.
But here, once the movie takes it starts to take a really dramatic turn, and once it hits a certain plot point, the whole thing kind of settles down, and from there on out, it's really good. I've never been a real big Tobey Maguire fan, but he's not bad in this. But everybody else in the movie, Leo DiCaprio, Isla Fisher, and Carey Mulligan, other people that I don't remember their names, they're all fantastic, especially the guy who plays the character Tom Buchanan. Actually, it's kind of funny. Our friends over with Ace Kilroy tweeted at him because the dude, as he looks in The Great Gatsby, looks exactly like their character Ace Kilroy, and so they were kind of like, "Hey, you should play him in the movie."
Live-action movie.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, it was filmed in 3D. We didn't see it in 3D. but there was so much stuff that it was just like, 3D, like that, like the obvious shit that I fucking hate why people film in 3D in the first place. And all that stuff was unneeded.
What is this, 2011?
Yeah, what the hell?
What?
So
I get the impression that nobody is more impressed with Baz Luhrmann than Baz Luhrmann is.
He needs someone to tell him no every once in a while. Like, hey, let's just take it down a notch. What do you say?
He's like the, like James Cameron, for all, the caveats of like Avatar being in 3D and all, is like sort of like the measured hand of that technology, and then like Baz Luhrmann is like the 5-year-old child that just like runs around like a crazy person with it.
Yeah, it's not even like he's using like great lengths of technology or anything like that either.
No, I just mean like cameras in general. He shoots the movie away a 5-year-old would shoot it, just like frenetically and crazily.
Right.
Like, yeah, and he has one style, and that's it. Like, he does one thing.
Yeah. What other movies has he done?
He did the remake of Romeo and Juliet with Leo DiCaprio and Claire Danes. Is that Claire Danes?
Oh, yeah, wow, that was a while ago.
He did, Moulin Rouge. He did Australia, was his most recent film before this. The one with that
was probably the most un-Baz Luhrmann-like.
I didn't even see it. It looked terrible.
It is terrible. It is terrible.
And before Romeo and Juliet, he did one called Strictly Ballroom, which that was the first of what he called the Red Curtain trilogy, which ended with Moulin Rouge. That's actually that in Australia I never saw, but I remember at the time I loved Moulin Rouge. Like, for whatever reason, all that whole thing worked for me. Like the whole style and the energy and all that stuff. All that.
I think it works as like a one-off, but then when you just do the same exact thing again, it's sort of like, all right, I get it.
It's kind of like Guy Ritchie.
You didn't really make a statement so much as you just did the only thing you can do.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I liked. I really like Lock, Stock, and the other one. Snatch. Yeah, they were great. But then, like, I fucking hated the Sherlock Holmes movies he did.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even get through the first one. I got like 20 minutes into it. And I said to Linda, like, I gotta turn this off. I can't watch this.
Who did the Sherlock ones?
Guy Ritchie.
Okay.
Yeah. He used to. He used to be married to Madonna. That's kind of what he was most famous for.
They did a movie together where she was stranded on an island. That was also terrible.
Yeah, I like the original of that movie though. For some reason,
I've never seen it.
It is a misogynist piece of shit character, but I kind of like the movie. I don't know why.
He was the same way in the new one.
Yeah, I'm sure they had to be, or it would have been completely different. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you about it. I think you can wait for home video for this one. Don't expect a ton out of it, and be prepared for it to be super energetic and fast in the first half, and then slow and dramatic and nicely paced in the second half.
Can you enjoy it if you haven't read the book?
Yeah, because the whole story comes across.
Okay.
And the only things that they cut out, so to speak, were things that you can lose for a movie. It's fine in the book. It doesn't, it's not dragging or anything like that in the book, but it's fine for cutting it out in the movie. Like I said, the only thing I just didn't like the caveat of how they changed it to basically excuse themselves for having a narration. So that's about that. So Dan, why don't you finish this up and what you've been doing with your couple of games you've been playing?
So the first one, I guess it's probably a bigger release for us than it seems to be for just about anybody else, since I've heard nobody else talking about it. But a couple years ago, a lot of us fell in love with Anomaly Warzone Earth.
Yes.
Which was a reverse tower defense game. So if you know your tower defense games where you set up your little things and then your waves of enemies come through and you try to kill them all, this is the reverse of that, where you are the line of guys having to walk through a battlefield and make your way through the towers that are set in front of you. You can buy units and upgrade units and change their orders, and you're actually like running around as like the commander on the ground as these tanks or whatever like slowly roll through the level, and you need to lay down decoys and repair nodules and things like that, like in front of your line of tanks to make it from point A to point B. I know Ryan, Kevin, and I all love this game.
Yes.
So Anomaly 2 came out. Oddly, they dropped the Warzone Earth part, which to me is strange because Anomaly 2 just doesn't really do anything for me. Like Anomaly Warzone Earth 2 it tells me what that is. But either way, Anomaly 2 came out, which is more great reverse tower defense goodness. I'm having a blast with it again. The voiceover work is like weird at spots, kind of like the first one, almost charmingly so. But so far in this game, the biggest change is that the units have multiple forms. So much like a Robotech or something, or a Transformer. Like I have a couple of tanks that have like a medium range Gatling gun on top of them, but I can double click them at any point to turn them into like a mech, which then have like fire flamethrowers attached to both their arms to handle. It's like a constant damage against a much closer enemy. So when you're in tight corners, you can morph those guys back and forth depending on what they need. It offers a nice flexibility that you can have less units because they can do multiple things. So you're not trying to jockey a ton of different shit at the same time. You can just like, all right, well, I'll take one of these tanks because that'll handle my mid and close range, and then I'll take this, this rocket cannon thing that's going to get my long range stuff. Interestingly, like the one of the first units you get that does long range, like the turret can only move 30 degrees in either direction. So it can change form where it does less damage, but it can rotate, 100 degrees or 360 degrees around. So, you're not just limited by your like range of the weapon of different units, that you're actually limited by where the unit is in relation to where the tower is. So it's more important when you plan your path to make sure that those enemies are, in that degree range that you're going to be able to hit them from far away, which I'm really liking so far. So, other than that, it's more Warzone Earth. So if you played and enjoyed the first one, you will like this one. If you haven't played that one, you should really go check it out.
If you have an electronic device, if you have an electronic device that plays games that's not made by Nintendo, you can play Anomaly Warzone Earth on it.
Yeah, at this point, it's out for like iOS devices and Android, and it's 11-bit Studios is the name of the company. It's weird because I like Defense Grid stuff. Don't get me wrong, and we've all played a hell of a lot of tower defense, and it's weird that this game has not gotten more attention because it takes that tower defense idea and just flips it on its head.
Yeah, and it's fantastic, man. Yeah. There was a reason that we kept talking about it over and over and over again.
It's a shame that it just seems to have completely missed most people. And like I said, I love Plants vs. Zombies, I love Defense Grid, I love Field Runners, I love all that stuff. But it's nice to flip it on its head and do something totally unique with that genre. So it's right. It's weird that it's not being rewarded more. But
yeah, I've actually been playing
really
a shitload of Field Runners too.
Yeah, Field Runners 2 is great. I mean, it's great now. When it first released, it was fucking broken beyond all of hell. But
really?
Yeah, the difficulty was off the charts, all over the place, and they did like a huge rebalancing thing. And
it's still not terribly easy.
No, but before it was like impossible. I honestly think there was some things that were impossible.
They just threw random numbers in there for different values and.
So yeah, maybe it just randomizes everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Anomaly 2, it's great. Yeah. So yeah.
There you go.
You should
buy Anomaly 1. Anomaly Korea is also out, which was kind of just another version of Anomaly 1.
I believe specific to touchpads too.
Okay. Yeah, I have it on
tablets.
Android.
I guess we want to call them.
I'm assuming it's on iOS too. I mean,
yes,
on Android. Usually, it's on iOS. So
yeah, I want to say that was tablet specific.
Okay,
but
so
yeah,
there you go.
It's great.
Yes.
The other one I got was Mario and Donkey Kong Minis on the Move for the 3DS. This is an eShop exclusive, so it's a digital download only. There's been a couple games in this series before, dating back to the Game Boy Advance, I think.
Maybe.
Or that might have been Donkey Kong versus Mario. That might have been a different game. So Minis on the Move is essentially. Does anybody remember the game Pipe Dream?
Yeah, a bit. Yeah.
Where you're trying to like connect, different pieces of pipe in different directions on like a grid to. You're trying to get the
green flow would get.
Yeah. So you have a grid and different shapes of pipes, and you have to run the water from one side to the other, that kind of thing.
And after a certain time, it would just automatically flow, and whether you're completed or not.
Yeah. In this case, it's the same basic thing. Is that you have different shapes like horizontal, verticals, and then like curves, and you have a grid, and you have to guide this wind up Mario toy around the board to get him to the safety of the pipe and grab a couple coins and stuff along the way. And there's enemies and things like that are gonna mess with you. But the wind up Mario just jumps out of the pipe and then just starts walking, and there's nothing you can do to slow him down. So you can lay pieces down in front of him to try to get to keep him moving. And then there's different ways to get the get yourself more time, because if you run out of time, then like the wind-up toy actually just runs out of juice. Or if he runs into an edge for more than a couple seconds, then he just falls off the edge. It's actually a really fun game. Works really well with the touchscreen. The dual screen aspect is mostly pointless because you have the grid and the pieces that you have available to you on the bottom screen. You just drag and drop them where you want to go. And in the top screen is actually the 3D thing where you see the wind-up toy like walking around, but you have a graphic of where the Mario is on the board on the bottom screen, so you're really only staring at the bottom screen the entire time, which is fine because it's just a puzzle game, so it's really a game that doesn't need the dual screen, and since you have to interact with tapping it, then the 3D screen becomes the pointless one. So, I mean, it is still in 3D and all, but you're just never looking at it. So I turned the 3D off to save battery power because that actually does have a tangible effect on the battery life of turning the 3D off. But other than that, I'm actually, again, really enjoying the game. It's nice to have. There's not a lot of exclusive first-party eShop titles, so I'm hoping this is like a new start. This is clearly not like a retail level title, but I want to say it was $9.99 or $14.99, one of the two. I say it was $9.99. Damn well worth it, and the kind of thing that they should have been doing for a while now with the eShop of taking advantage of smaller titles like this, especially first-party stuff. Like there's some cool third-party stuff out there. A lot of shit that's already on other consoles like Zen Pinball and things like that. But there have been a couple of games that I've downloaded from third-party companies that have been solid, but I think this is the first one that's not just like a classics, like not just Castlevania again or Zelda 2 again or whatever.
All right.
So I'm really hoping we'll see more of that. They've been releasing full retail games on the eShop like Luigi's Mansion and Fire Emblem for $40 or whatever, but it's nice to have these just smaller download titles. So yeah, I like small puzzle game on the go. Works great for portables because each board only takes you a minute, so you can stop between levels real easy, which was a problem that Luigi's Mansion had. So yeah, it's been solid. I'm looking forward to more of the eShop stuff. I like that a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to wrap up what you've been doing. So we're going to take a little bit of a break. So enjoy whatever music I decide to put in here and post. Those of you viewing live will not hear that. And we'll see you on the other side.
Is there anyone viewing live?
Yeah, there are.
Oh.
So it's been
maybe Jim. Hello, Jim.
Usual. So yay! Thanks everybody for watching us live. This is the part where we usually have to refresh our drinks or whatever else.
I can sit here and entertain if everybody has to do it because you guys usually.
Good. I'm good to keep going. Adam's
I'm usually the one that just sits here the entire time.
I'm gonna be the jerk.
Adam, come on.
I'll be back.
All right.
Look at my enormous water bottle.
Yeah, I have a big old glass of water, which this camera's making it look much larger than it is. Scale to my head. There you go. Yeah. Managed to flesh that out.
Sure.
Those four things. Had the excuse me, the NJAGP podcast or NJA New Jersey AG podcast ask us. We talked to them on Twitter.
Oh, that's not just another game podcast.
Oh, not just another game. Okay,
but it also works in the NJ thing.
Gotcha.
I think it's both.
So I thought they were from New Jersey. Huh?
No, they are.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I think it's a play on words.
Gotcha.
NJ for not just, but then also.
Good on you.
There you go.
Yeah. They was asking us, oh, I see a basement and attic and a wall of games. Say who's who again. So
look at that.
Yeah, I replied to them and explained to everybody. So I'm Kevin. Hi, Kevin Alexander.
I'm in the attic with a Batman poster.
Yeah, I need to dress this up.
Portal gun.
If we're gonna keep doing this.
It is your idea.
Location.
You can't really see it, but I have a Mr. Toad statue that is also in the Haunted Mansion Pet Museum cemetery outside of the Haunted Mansion in Disney World. Which is probably my favorite thing up here.
And there's a lot of shit up there.
Maybe I'll bring it over. Yeah, there's some Epcot shit over on the wall.
Yeah. I have like mounds of movie posters I could hang up if I wanted to.
I have a chestburster plush. I can attach like so. Could do an entire show like this.
Yes, that would be great for the audio. So if you could definitely do that, that'd be awesome. So this is the benefit of coming to view us live. When we're hanging out recording this thing, is the extra halftime entertainment.
All this A-game stuff is not going to make it into the final show.
No. This is not our best foot forward. But maybe we could practice for the Super Bowl or something. If you like what we're doing now, we're going to be doing this all day on June 10th. It's a Monday. It's the day before E3 officially starts, and it's when all of the big pressers happen. Anybody that's doing one does one on that day, and we're going to be hanging out all day long. Me, myself, Dan, and Ryan. We got some special guests lined up. We're going to get more of the PGM crew in here as much as we can. And, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that marathon aspect of that thing.
I like that I took off from work. That's always a good thing.
Oh, yeah. We all took off. Well, Ryan just gave himself off, and Dan and I requested some time.
Yeah.
So, and the night before, we can warm up by talking about Game of Thrones, because the season finale will be that night.
Oh, that's right. That's our party.
Yes.
A feast of ice and fire.
Oh, a feast of, yeah.
I think my wife is making Dornish chicken or something.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's like a Dothraki blood pies and Dornish chickens and something else.
That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it should be a good time.
So, Adam's back. Hi, Adam.
Hi. How's everyone doing?
Wall of games and some dungeon tiles.
Yeah, man.
I could see that stuff.
I thought I had more games. I had to fill it up with some dungeon tile stuff.
Oh, man.
I got a shit ton of games that are just on the floor back there. Well, not on the floor. They're in a bookcase on the floor.
I have so many games.
I'm not an animal.
Put them.
Well, yeah, you can poster up that back wall right by your head.
Who, me?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's angled. What am I supposed to do with it? I hate this wall. I can't do anything with it.
You can't put posters up on an angle?
What am I, a child? Like,
was he gonna do? Like thumbtack them up there?
Yeah.
No, you get it set. What's that Batman poster?
I'm waiting for the perfect blacklight poster to put on my ceiling.
Nice.
That's just a movie poster from the original Batman.
Well, but what's it in?
Just a frame. I can't hang a frame. It's like a 45-degree angle wall. You can't hang something on that.
Well, you can't secure all four corners and put it up?
It would look ridiculous. I'm going to guess it would look ridiculous.
All right, then you need someone to come in and do a mural.
I've actually considered that.
There we go.
Or they have like the wall art stuff, like the Space Invaders, like wall art decals. Thought about that too.
Actually, the decal thing would be perfect.
Yeah, I've actually thought about that.
You should see if they have any like Portal theme ones. I mean, you got half the theme going already with the huge guns. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have thought about the cutout things. I need like the fat heads. I'll get like just sports guys.
Yeah, get a bunch of get like Michael Vick and like all kinds.
I'll just get whatever's on clearance.
Yeah, just get like Vick and Ray Lewis and some other people.
They're all just retired guys or. Oh no, that guy's he played on the Minnesota Vikings like 5 years ago. It's cool. It's totally cool. Yeah, I think I'll just get like the Space Invaders, or they have like not Pong, but there's another like Galaga maybe or something like that might actually look pretty cool on the wall. So I might.
Cool. All right, let's stop talking about Dan's wall trouble, and we'll
shitty attic.
Bring this thing back.
Do it.
Done. We're back.
Entertain me.
Hey. How's it going, everybody? Did you guys enjoy your break?
Yeah.
If you're listening to this in the audio version and you did not join us live when we were hanging out recording this, you can check us out at our YouTube channel. Our user is Perpetual Geek Machine, all one long word. So you can, I think it's youtube.com/user/Perpetual Geek Machine. And then we'll have the archives of all the live hangouts we do up there the same day as the show. And you can get all the fun bonus halftime entertainment that we just gave the viewers. So
wait, we don't cut that out too?
Oh, no, that's gonna be cut out of the audio, but the archive, the Google, the Hangout archive is going up raw. It's exactly the way I download it. So
no. All right, I'm turning my camera off.
So you weren't here from the stuff that's being cut, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right, good.
All right, assholes. I want to be entertained.
Sexy. All right, well, why don't you take over here, and we'll head into 5-hit combo.
Yeah. 5-hit combo is a friendly competition in which two players read back their top 5 lists of a given topic in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 style, while a third player judges the list based on his or her own personal taste. The players may change every week, but the game is perpetual. Thank you, Jerkface Killer, once again for that fantastic breakdown.
Jonathan Mitchell is the man.
Yeah.
He gets more mentions than any fan on the show.
He did put it together. I mean,
we've struggled for 90 shows, or I struggled. Dan usually rattled it off pretty well.
I want to say if I sat down, I could write something equally as good, but I just didn't do it.
We never thought to do it.
I'm surprised you guys haven't made an audio drop of it just being explained once, and then
that's not my job.
No, that's not my style. I already have enough things I have to put in here at the end of the show.
So yeah,
then it sounds
tonight's top 5 list for these nerds is to tell me what shit they like doing outside. The top 5 best outdoor games in reference to Memorial Day here in the U.S. I want to say Memorial Day was technically last weekend in Canada, and I don't know where in the world you are when Memorial Day hits for you, but barbecues and sitting outside apparently is a thing that people like to do. Some people like to pass the time standing outside by playing a game. I find this to be strange. There's no TV screen. There's no air conditioning, but teach their own. So,
all right.
Shit, I need I'm on camera. I need an actual coin to flip, or do we just expose that lie for what?
No, we've been exposing that lie already. It's already out there.
2 weeks ago, you just let Nicole go first. You just said, "All right, Nicole, what do you want?"
That's because I wasn't on the show to force the coin flip. You guys just run rogue when I'm not here. It's like the children are let loose in the fucking zoo with no supervision.
I flipped a coin before we started recording, and have memorized the result. I said coin flip.
Fancy.
I would like Adam to see if he can guess what that coin flip was.
I'm thinking it's different. I'm thinking it's heads.
Ooh, it's actually tails.
Damn.
I know. Weird, right?
Man.
It was heads one time, and no one mentioned anything about it. Everyone just breezed right past it.
Well, now we haven't because you had to call attention to it.
Yeah, great job.
I did. Because I was listening and almost fell off my chair.
If somebody can give us that what show number that happened in, I'll hook you up with something from my Steam library.
Ooh,
how's that?
I have a copy of XCOM.
I think I do too.
Nice.
But I'll give you a list of everything I have, and then you tell me what you want, and it's yours.
Wow. All right. Well, hit us up on Twitter then.
Show.
Jeez, I don't even know what episode that was. We're gonna have to go back and verify.
I have no idea. I kind of want to know. I just want somebody else to do the work for me.
All right. Ed, would you like to go first or second?
I'll go first.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm not. That's not an expression of the confidence of my answers. That's just I'm just going to go first. That's all.
All right.
Number 5 is kind of boring, but it is a seminal modern favorite, and that's ladder golf. The interesting thing about ladder golf is that everybody's rules are different. So in ladder golf, everybody know what it is. You have the 3 horizontal rungs on, held up vertically, kind of resembles a ladder. And then you have what's referred to as a bolo, which is basically 2 balls about the size of golf balls. Sometimes they actually are golf balls tethered together by a string so that they can wrap around something. There's 1 ball at the end of the string, each end of the string.
It's a common rogue weapon.
Yes. Yeah. And then it's like a shorter version of the thing you would use to trip somebody as they're running away. And so you basically toss that in the air, kind of the same distance as, maybe a little bit shorter than like horseshoes. And you try to get it around one of the horizontal rungs. Now, every time I've ever played this, depending on whose house I'm at, the rungs are worth different values. So the way my instructions for my set say is that the top rung is worth 2, the middle rung is worth 3, and the bottom rung is worth 1. And that never really speaks to how difficult or easy it is to get onto each one of those rungs.
Yeah.
But it is a party favorite because it can be played with one hand, with a beer hand one hand and the bolo in the other, and anybody can do it. So I just it's relaxing, it's easy. You usually set each end up in the shade if you can, and then you're good to go.
All right, so, number 5, ladder golf. Adam, your number 5.
My number 5 I picked because a whole bunch of people can play it at once, and all you really need is a ball. I picked soccer. Not that I'm playing to the judge at all, again.
Well, you picked it as number 5, so not really playing to the judge that much.
I get that one out of the way. See, I don't like to be too brazen with my playing to the judges.
Or football, depending on where you're on the country, on the world.
That's true. I'm from America, so unfortunately it's soccer. I'm sorry for anyone that's offended.
The Brits came up with the term soccer. Don't ever let anybody tell you any different.
Really?
Yeah, that's actually true.
We are absolved. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. The little kids that like to run really fast and do a lot of up and back, they can do that. If you don't really want to run too much, you can just wait till the ball gets close to you and then kick the shit out of it as hard as you can towards the other goal and hope for the best.
All right.
So, and real easy rules. Don't touch the ball with your hands.
It is true. Okay. Adam, number 5, soccer. Kevin, you're number 4.
My number 4 is something you don't see a whole lot of these days, but my aunt used to have one of these sets, and every once in a while, she didn't have a whole lot of picnics, but every once in a while when she did, I was very excited because she had a tetherball pole in her backyard.
Wow. That's just dangerous.
Yeah, and I don't really know how to officially play tetherball, but we just kind of played it where I think this is the way you might actually do it, but you basically hit it back and forth until somebody wraps it completely around the pole. And I think that's how you actually do play tetherball. We had no idea how many points to play to or anything like that. But it's just so, Napoleon Dynamite kind of made it nerdy at the end of the movie when he's playing it all like in his very Napoleon Dynamite way. But it's just something you don't see very often. And I know I would be very excited if I went to somebody's house and they had a tetherball pole.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who wouldn't want to play that? Like if,
you're close on the scoring. There's like a coil at the top of it.
Okay.
And like one person plays to get the string, which is like on a ring, so it can slide back and forth around that coil.
Right.
One person tries to get it all the way to the top of the coil. The other person tries to get it all the way to the bottom. So if I knocked it and you missed it coming around to you, then it would go like one coil down. So I'd be hitting it to the left. You'd be hitting it to the right.
Okay.
So once you get it all the way down or all the way up, that's when the cord starts just winding around the pole because it doesn't have anywhere else to like rotate to on that actual coil. But
was there any doubt, even though he hates doing anything outside, that Dan would know the rules to tetherball?
Well, I mean,
hey man,
if I was going to take a guess of the three of us, I would guess Dan. Yeah.
I know my stuff. I'm smart. I don't have to play it to know how it works.
If you were ever stuck playing it outside, you'd know the rules so you could get through with it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Just try to wrap the ball around the pole.
Oh, you hit the ball twice in a row. You win. Congratulations. Let's go inside.
Calvin ball. We can all go in. All right. Adam, you're number 4.
All right. My number 4 is something that I actually did have fun with when I was a kid, but now I have fun with it in a different way. Hide and seek. Because when you're a kid, it's fun to go find nooks and crannies to hide in. And that way you can kind of explore wherever you are, because a lot of times you're at these barbecues and picnics and you're at a friend's house and you can just go find somewhere to hide, and that's kind of fun. But as an adult, now when the kids want to play with you, you say, hey, let's play hide and seek. I'll be it. I'll seek you guys out, and you send them on their way, and then you go and sit down with a beer for a few minutes at least, and you get some peace and quiet, and everyone else at the party thanks you for it. So my number 4 is hide and seek.
All right.
That's
your number 3.
That's good reasoning.
It is good.
My number 3 is something I believe I have used. I know I've used this answer in at least one other 5-hit combo. It might have been 2 other ones.
I'm going to just start typing it out, but go ahead.
Lawn darts.
Oh.
Is that what you were going to type out?
Yeah, it's a 30 down. 30 down.
So yeah, lawn darts. I don't have a set of these anymore, but because they were outlawed.
And
we never actually owned one in my family, I don't believe. So I never had one to keep. But I imagine you can still probably find them on eBay or Craigslist or something.
You can actually find them. I want to say the last time I looked, you can find them, but you have to buy them in parts and assemble them.
There you go.
Because it's illegal to sell the thing, but there was some sites that would sell you basically like wings and then like a metal shaft,
right?
which you could then combine.
Yeah. So for our younger listeners who don't really know what the hell a lawn dart is and didn't listen to our old podcast, lawn dart is basically a metal spike with plastic wings on the back that you toss through the air to try and stick in the ground inside of a plastic circle.
Yes.
Like, much like horseshoes or, ladder golf or cornhole, things like that. You're tossing it at another group of people, and, I never.
Wait.
You're not actually supposed to stand. That was the thing. It was like that's where it was. Nobody put it together that it wasn't like horseshoes that like 2 people stand at opposite ends. Like you're all supposed to stand at one end and throw the darts down the other way.
That's not what happened.
No. I'm not saying that's not what happened. I'm just saying that was supposed to be.
Yeah.
How you played it.
There was always the wives' tales of people dying and getting impaled in the head and that kind of stuff. Which
if you see them, they are pretty sharp.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt that could happen.
And you're supposed to throw them like overhead so they arc nicely to stick into the ground.
Yeah. I always threw them underhand. Just try to get them high on a high arch.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Wikipedia article says before they were banned, 8 years before they were banned, 6,100 people have been sent to the emergency room due to lawn darts. 81% were 15 or younger. Half of them 10 or younger.
Was a major city carpet bombed with these things? 6,100 people.
Yeah.
It was a popular game, man. Don't you remember it?
Nobody died, but
you'll find out shortly. I do remember it.
Oh.
But I just didn't think there were that many people injured by it. I didn't think it was that good.
Oh yeah, you can still buy. It's possible to import parts of a lawn dart, but a fully assembled dart are banned from entry by U.S. and Canadian customs.
Wow, black market lawn darts.
Yeah. All right,
lawn darts, good one.
Yeah, lawn darts.
Adam, you're number 3.
My number 3 is badminton. Because for people that like the looks of tennis but think it moves way too fast, you've got badminton. And and it's played with something called a shuttlecock.
Yes.
Come on. Who can have fun calling that out?
Adam, have you ever seen high-level badminton played?
Well, yeah, I don't think anyone's actually going to play that way.
No, I'm just saying.
It's a good point.
Tennis, it looks like it's played by turtles when you see high-level badminton.
Really?
Absolutely, man.
The shuttlecock actually does go significantly faster than a tennis ball does. I don't know the exact speed, but I can guarantee you that.
It is well over 100 miles an hour on most.
Holy shit!
Yeah, most.
I mean, it slows down quickly, but the way the plume is in the back, that it closes up when it first gets hit and then fans out right away. But the initial speed of it it's sort of like they say the sneeze, like a sneeze leaves your nose at 300 miles an hour or whatever it is, but it's just instantly slowed down.
Well, much like lawn darts, you kind of smack it up and let it gingerly fall. When you're playing for fun.
The way we would play it, certainly.
Yeah. Of course, near the end of the game when you get pissed off and you just wing it at someone, you don't care about that it's under the net.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get it to jam into their leg.
Still an option.
And have you ever played it without getting one of the shuttlecocks stuck in a tree?
Well,
yeah. Or stuck in something, certainly.
Yeah. All
right. Badminton. Kevin, you're number 2.
No, I'm looking at it. I might have used this answer in a previous 5-hit combo as well, but huge Jenga.
Yes, you have.
God.
The one that you would make out of 2x4s. You can. You would have to play that outside anyway, because I doubt most people have a space appropriate enough in their house for a bunch of 2x4s falling over the floor, and not destroying anything like the floor or a table or whatever else. So to set this up outside is a perfect thing, and beautiful Memorial Day weekend. Why not?
How tall is an outdoor set of Jenga supposed to be?
I got 6.5 feet.
As tall as you want it to be?
Yeah, I guess that's the correct answer there.
Have a ton of space.
Yeah.
Well, vertical space, so
Yeah. Not exactly portable, a very easily portable game. Huh?
No, not really.
Word.
All right. Adam, you were number 2.
All right. My number 2, for reasons previously mentioned, lawn darts. Because they're just damn fun, and I haven't played it in years. I haven't seen a set of it in years, like we talked about. But I actually didn't try to injure people too much with it. I actually did enjoy the game because I was a lot better at that than I was at horseshoes. For some reason, I just never got the right swing down with horseshoes. But lawn darts, you get pretty good. And in the worst case, you're pretending you're bombing another little round city. And who doesn't like that? It's kind of like Missile Commander, but the analog version.
Do you remember all the the fake lawn darts that they made after lawn darts were banned?
Are you referring to jarts?
Yeah. Like the rounded ended ones that
Yeah, they were weighted.
Yeah.
They would still fall correctly, but not with the satisfactory thunk of sliding into the ground.
Right.
Yeah. How can you score that? Oh, it bounced out. How can you tell?
All right. Kevin, you're number 1.
Number 1. Unfortunately, this is a game that involves a ton of running, but I think you kind of want to. It's Jailbreak. Remember playing Jailbreak around the neighborhood when you were kids?
Yeah.
Jailbreak is a game that involves 2 teams of people that hopefully in a large group, and one team is the prisoners, the other team are the cops or the guards, whatever else, and they all start at one point, which is the jail, and they run out and they kind of spread out over a certain determined area. When we played, it was always like, all right, you can't go past Charles Avenue, and you have to stay within Lincoln and Jackson too, and that's, you kind of just set boundaries there. But then otherwise, everything else was completely fair game. And so the guards would try and run out and capture the prisoners. And if they capture one, you have to like hold on to the person and say like 1, 2, 3, you're my prisoner, or something like that. I forget what the hell the actual thing was. And you escort them back to jail. You put them in jail, and the object for the guards was to collect all of the prisoners before one of the prisoners ran in and like touched the base and said jailbreak, and then all the prisoners could run out again.
It was like the best.
Wow. Yeah. Seems like a never-ending game.
Oh, it pretty much
was. Yeah.
You wanted to be
you were
the
jumping
first.
in and out of people's backyards and all kinds of shit that you weren't supposed to be doing.
Dan, did you play with the rule where you can make a chain from jail? Like you kind of like hold, as long as somebody was in jail, you could like hold somebody else's hand and they could kind of like reach out further.
Not really. Like you had to sit in like a central location.
Right.
But usually, like the whoever was guarding the jail, because we were all kids, would get relatively restless and start poking around further and further from the jail to find something to do instead of just standing there like a proper guard would do.
Right.
Like
so inevitably,
you've ever seen?
Somebody would just run in and scream jailbreak, and then it just turned into like mayhem. As like all the kids that were stuck in jail would just run in like opposite directions. Yeah. It was the same as like running from the cops 10 years later when you were at a house party. It was the same exact moment. It was the same exact movement.
There was a brief period where I believe it was you and I talked about getting together a group to play Jailbreak again. One night,
Yeah.
Just like go to the local park or something.
We never ended up going through with that, but that was a fantastic idea.
We should do that.
Should do that.
If you guys have interest in playing Jailbreak with us, let us know. If you're in the South Jersey area,
I'm slower now than I was when we first came up with that idea.
It will be a short game, that's for damn sure. But
there's going to be a keg like in the jail now.
Oh yeah.
All right, you can run anywhere from the kitchen to the living room.
Yeah, you have the living room. You have the one end of the couch to the other to run. That's it.
All right, Adam, you're number one.
All right, my number one is a game that always enamored me, and I was never really able to figure out why, but croquet. I enjoy the precision of setting up the play area, and because it takes quite a bit of time to set up all the wickets and whatever that post thing at the end is. And then any game you get to play with hammers is good, because then there's a chance if someone pisses you off enough, you can just club them with it. And you're supposed to try and get your ball to hit their ball gently, so then you can come up and whack the shit out of it and send it like down 3 streets lengths and underneath someone's car. And all the balls are brightly colored, and it's just a lot of fun. And it reminds me of chicken croquettes. That's the real reason.
that's the other reason.
Yeah, that's the real reason.
By the way,
just about every time after playing croquet, within 3 days, I have to have chicken croquettes.
You have to go to a tapas place.
Oh, do they have good chicken croquettes?
I had tapas yesterday down in Washington,
D.C.
croquet? No, actually not in D.C., in Arlington. Same thing.
All right, that would be our final list.
Yup.
Yeah.
Let me go through here and pick my
you
winners.
You guys have any plans for Memorial Day weekend?
No.
I'm going to stay inside the air conditioning as much as I can.
Neither of you guys picked my favorite sport.
Okay.
It's a cooperative game. It's just called sitting. Everybody wins, which is the other great thing about it.
I thought that would be a little too on the nose.
We can compete about who can like sit the hardest. Because I do get a pretty good sit going on, especially when I'm stuck outside.
I don't sit real hard, but I do walk hard.
Yeah, nah. Sitting's where it's at, man.
Get charge of the remote control.
Walking's so last year, man. Sitting's where it's at.
That's something I could have talked about. I got a Harmony remote, the Logitech Harmony, like the basic one, like the 650 or whatever it is. That thing's fucking awesome.
The basic is called the 650?
Yeah, I know.
Shouldn't the basic be called the 100?
Yeah, you would think.
It's just such an arbitrary number. It's not even like the 6 series. It's the 650.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we ready for this? You want to do this?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Ready?
Yes.
Long enough.
Number 5, Kevin said ladder golf. Adam said soccer. I do love to watch soccer. I don't necessarily love to play soccer. They run a lot. And when Kevin was talking about the different rules of different games, it reminded me of the time we tried to play ladder golf at work. And it ended spectacularly when we beat a manager that none of us liked, and he actually stormed off, jumped in his car, and sped away.
Wow.
Which was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And I totally forgot about it until he mentioned that story, until he mentioned ladder golf.
Talk about playing to the judge.
He was so angry.
He was so mad, and we couldn't figure out why. And Kevin was stuck on the same side as him. I was standing next to like his teammate, and Kevin thought he was kidding around, so it was kind of like joshing him back a little bit. That
was the wrong decision.
Kevin just sent him into a tail. Well, you play like Kevin and I were on the same team. I would stand on one side, and Kevin would stand on the other side. Mm-hmm. And then Kevin was next to this manager, and then I was next to the manager's teammate. So like we were fine. We couldn't, it wasn't really a big deal that we won to the teammate, but this manager just lost his fucking mind. It was hilarious. Number 4, Kevin said tetherball. Adam said hide and seek. I was going to go with tetherball on this one, but the hide and seek rationale of just making the kids all run away for an indeterminable amount of time with little to no effort at all is sounds fantastic. Number 3, lawn darts. Number 2, lawn darts. Lawn darts always win. So Kevin takes number 3. Adam takes number 2. Kevin said jailbreak. Adam said croquet. I do enjoy croquet, especially the foot-on ball, smash other ball across the yard and move. But jailbreak is I don't even know if I'm going to guess nobody plays this anymore. Somebody probably came up with a reason why it's terrible. Like anything else that's cool.
You know what? We're going to do it. We're going to play jailbreak this summer.
Us as 35-year-olds are gonna jump in and out of people's backyards and stuff.
We're gonna go to a park or something. We're gonna fucking do this. We're gonna play.
But I gave the win to jailbreak.
Boo.
Adam,
you got to start remembering all these times that you're winning, Kevin.
No, I stopped keeping track of that.
We all stopped keeping track.
Yeah, but last week you didn't even remember that you won for the Iron Man Avengers 5-hit combo. You thought Ryan won, and you thought Ryan won during that one.
Yeah. Well, it was read wrong. Like whoever judged that. Who judged that one?
I judged it.
Yeah, you made it confusing. I didn't understand that I actually did win. You made it sound like I didn't win.
So I did want to say though, because this is actually a good time to bring this up. So I was on Kickstarter a couple of months ago, and I saw this Kickstarter for this outdoor barbecue game called Kubb, Kubb, which apparently is an old Viking game that's been played for thousands of years, which is actually kind of similar to lawn darts. Like each team has these big wooden blocks that they can put anywhere they want, like along their side of the lawn, and then you use these like wooden dowels to throw like underhand to try to knock each other's guards down. I think I've heard of them as guards. And then every time you knock one down, then you get it on your side to like put it up as like an additional guard, and then you have to deprive the other team of all their guards. And then there's a king totem that's like sitting in the middle of the field. If that gets knocked over at any time, the person that knocks it over, their team instantly loses. And and then you go for that at the very end. Once the other team has no guards left, you can shoot for the king and try to knock them down, and that's when the game ends.
Did you get it yet?
No, it's actually coming really soon. But they said that like it's the kind of game that like you play over the course of like a while. Like you play a little while, then you like take a break to eat, take a break to drink, sit down for a little while, go back to the game. It's not like a game like ladder golf that's over in like 5 minutes. I mean, it's not a 5-hour game either, but it's the kind of thing where it's just like you play a little bit, you hang out a little bit, you play a little bit, you hang out a little bit. So
gotcha.
It seemed cool. Don't get me wrong, it's just a bunch of wooden pieces, but it seemed cool when it wasn't too expensive. I was like, that actually seems fun as an outdoor game. So
yeah.
How big are the pieces?
I don't know the actual measurements of it. I'll find. I'll put a link in the show notes for Kubb if anybody wants to check it out.
Right.
But it's like I guess what appealed to me is the fact that it was like a game that was not really well known in America and had been played for like thousands of years. Which to me that that stuff always just piques my interest of like why didn't it make it here? Why is that? There's a cool thing that's not in America. Let me go check that out.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
15, all right, well, I think 15 centimeters tall. I don't know what that is in America, but
I think that's like
Well, I think that's going to do it for show number 94 of the Perpetual Geek Machine podcast. I may tag on a conversation if Ryan and I have it after this. If not, it might be its own separate thing if it happens at all. We'll see. Yeah. Kind of open-ended at this point. But
do you know what nobody's been talking about on Twitter today?
What's that?
The Xbox announcement tomorrow.
Yeah. Maybe we just follow the right people.
It's not like a trending topic or anything like that. It's just not. I would imagine that they would have anticipated more people getting excited about, because like Sony released a really shitty like teaser video today, where it's like it looks like a black pixel that's just blurry. It's the funniest fucking thing ever.
Yeah, it really is just kind of like they timed it well because it was so ridiculous that everybody just started talking about it.
Yeah.
But isn't Twitter much more like
in the moment?
Much more in the moment. Like,
well,
tomorrow.
there's like people getting invites and like everybody's assembling at this like hotel for this announcement tomorrow. Games journalist wise. So, when the PS4 was like announced and then that event was coming up, like people were talking about like rumors of things and like what they're excited about, what they hope it does, what they hope it doesn't do, that kind of thing. Up until now, every rumor about the Xbox has been like bad. Like it's always on, it always needs an internet connection, it doesn't play used games, like all this like stuff that they really haven't denied.
It doesn't play used games?
Well, that's one of the rumors, is that they're cutting out the used game market totally, that you're going to need, it's not going to play in used games. So, and they haven't denied any of this stuff. So I don't think people are really all that excited about it so much as like even the fans of it are kind of like hiding behind the couch hoping that it's not terrible news. But like nobody's excited about it the way people got excited about the PlayStation so far. And hell, even like the Wii, like Nintendo announces a new thing and like people get excited and at least like trade ideas about like what could be in it, what like that kind of thing. And like for the Xbox, it's just been like nothing at all.
Yeah. Well,
take that, Microsoft.
But hey, maybe they'll announce something tomorrow and it'll be cool and everybody will be excited. It's just beforehand, I bet their social media team was assuming that people would be talking about it.
Right. Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow when they actually talk for real about it. Last week we had our 5-hit combo was the top 5 jobs you like to try for 1 week. And you got a couple of listener responses about things they'd like to try for a week. And Eric Cobb said he'd like to be a bourbon taster.
It's a good one.
Sir, I would join you in that as well. And we also we had an email that I forwarded to myself and I forgot to pull up, so I'm vamping for a few seconds.
Is that Alan?
Yes.
Alan, who instead of bikini inspector wanted to be bikini painter.
Yes.
All the swimsuits in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition are painted on, and want that job for that particular week.
Yeah, it still takes a degree of talent.
Well, that wasn't part of the. That wasn't part of.
Yeah, there wasn't requirements. I wanted to go to space, Adam. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one said porn star.
It'd almost be better if you had a job for a week that you were wholly incapable of doing. But like for whatever reason, like NASA had to keep you employed for that 1 week. Like you had to do that job even though you were just like,
now we got to go back and get this
terrible. We're like, yeah, but he won that contest. Like we can't fire him, but he has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah, but at the end of the week they shoot him out in an airlock. So
no, that's fine. But they just like you're driving the rover like the wrong way, and like, oh, you meant like my left. Hang on, I got to reboot this whole thing.
Yeah. Commander Hadfield showed me a job I could do. I could be his cameraman. Yeah, I could fucking do that. No problem.
I think it's it's like weightless. So I think once you position the camera somewhere, it just stays there.
Shut up. Stop shitting on my dream. Come on.
It's like atmosphere-controlled Steadicam.
Whatever. Anyway, why don't you send us your suggestions on Twitter at Perpetual Geek, or you can email us podcast@perpetualgeekmachine.net. We have a contact form on our website, and you can follow us on all the social medias. We're all over the place. But that about does it. So for my co-host Adam Dixon and Dan Zuccarelli, I have been Kevin Alexander. Thank you for listening, and until next time, we are shutting down the machine.